Welcome to the 1 Million Years of Joy podcast. I'm Dr. Andrea Benaker, your host, and my intention is to inspire you to find more joy in your life through the stories from our guests and the science on joy and purpose. Marc-Antoine, welcome. It's such a pleasure to have you with us today.
Thank you, and I'm really honored.
Marc-Antoine, you've had such a beautiful career. You have lived in multiple countries. You've worked in the banking industry. You worked with McKinsey, and now you're a coach for CEOs with the objective of elevating their consciousness. And in your journey, you've had multiple ups and downs that have shaped who you are today. Can you share with us more about your background and how those experiences have influenced who you are today?
Yes, of course. Early on, I was a joyful kid, as I think many kids are, and I wanted to be a clown. But through life experiences, of course, I learned many things. And how do we learn the best is through experiences. And the experience that we learn the most of are often the most difficult ones. So, of course, I think we are, I believe, on earth to evolve in the sense going through a journey. And in that journey, we will be challenged by situations that we put ourselves in questions and change the way we were thinking before, but with one aim. And that's what I think it's beautiful in life is the aim is to become a better human. But what does it mean becoming a better human, more conscious? And when we are at that space of, at peace, there is a kind of joy that comes. And this joy is a soft joy, is not the crazy, happy, laughing things. It's something that we know is who we are. So, and you question, how did I learn that? When we experience those moments of really putting everything in questions of what we had before and entering in another level of consciousness, that's where we start to understand. So in my case, I think it started early on in the family. I say, choose the family we need. So in the family, we have good relationship or tough relationships, and depending on it. So I had my stories as everybody. And then I think it started with being very lucky. As you mentioned, I studied psychology and economics. And at that time, it was new. Not many people were doing that. So coming out from the university, I had many options to go. And I chose the one that brings me the furthest, which was New York. And I was in Switzerland. And so New York was a private bank who sent me to New York. So I entered in the banking field and had the chance to move to Hong Kong. So I was really the golden boy, lucky one. And I married at that time. And I was very happy. And once I came back, I moved away from banking and then joined my father, who had a small business, and took over and ran it and sold it. So after that, I was free and I joined McKinsey. McKinsey was tough to enter. So I was really happy living 100 or the 200% at the time, very successful, until the moment my wife told me I'm leaving. And I said, what? Everything seems okay, but something is wrong in my life. So she left and I was alone in my mountains on Christmas, realizing that something didn't went the way it was supposed to be. So that was, I think, one of the first encounter with something is happening of more value than I thought it was. So at that moment, I started to question myself, do I want to continue to run life? Because I realized that business-wise, I was very, very happy, but no friends, no family anymore. So then I started to say, no, I need to understand what it means friendship. And I went around the world, traveled the world, meet friends, created a new network of friends in Switzerland, and again, was very happy. And I continued, took over another business, sold it. And at 41, I said, now I succeed. I'm remarried, 2 children, good job, money. And what do? I invest all my money. And we are in the beginning of 2000, early 2000, everything in high-tech. So 6 months later, I lose 50% of what I had. So that's another great experience because it's tough. Suddenly, money was one of the elements to show that we succeed in life. And all of it is gone like this, 6 months. So those kind of experience brought me in questioning what is really the value of money. And again, having a lot of money, losing a lot of money. It's a beautiful experience to understand the value of money. Having a family, losing a family. Having close friends, experience death. experiencing birth. All those moments of intense emotions are really important. And I had, I think, many. I restarted the business and had to shut it down. So that was also a very strong experience because not only losing money, but also losing faith, losing confidence in people that I was so excited about running a new business. Luckily, I didn't lend money, so I know that not that issue, but still, my dreams and everything that I put on, I had to say to my friends, people I hired, sorry guys, it's not working. I have to close down. Another experience was with my family in Switzerland and was not going well. And we split. So I re-experienced something very difficult. I was working like hell again, but my wife was not happy. And I saw my wife and my children not being happy. And me neither. So then came a question, what do I do? So I decided to put the priority on my family because I understood that relationship and close relationship are essential in our life. So by doing so, I decided to move from my secret place in Switzerland and move to an island where I didn't know anybody in 9,000 kilometers from where I have my family and my security and start a new life. And again, this was a beautiful experience, showing me that everything is in our head and we can restart from everywhere. Everything just depends on the self-confidence, self-trust, and also something that I slowly discovered more and more, which is called spirituality, which means there is something bigger than us. And this something bigger than us, if I can let myself flow into this intent or into this energy, this cosmos, universal energy, things are falling in place much better than if I tried to manage everything out of my ego. So out of those experiences, of course, then I had some understanding and I wrote a book about that.
What was the turning point for you? Because particularly when you're experiencing the loss that you shared during the fall of the .com, how do you pick yourself up in those difficult moments? Because whether it was a divorce that you shared, whether it was losing a big portion of your fortune, what was the energy, the mindset that helped you get back on your feet, find the positive energy to continue living with joy?
A quick and simple answer is my soul, my deep soul, my who am I really? That is a joyful and full of energy and positive thing, if I can say the word thing. But to come to it, maybe I need to give you some more information, info. When I sold the company, and I say, now it's easy, I can go on vacation. I can finally be happy, be free. You know, when you spend 2 weeks on the beach, something happens. Even standing up for a glass becomes an issue. You know, just to drink a glass of water becomes an issue because you don't do anything. So you start to get bored. So suddenly I realized, okay, that's not the life I want. But at the same time, I was reading a book about Dalai Lama, and he was talking about Tibetan monks that were tortured by Chinese, that were put in prison and tortured. And they were talking about compassion. And I said, how can you have compassion when you are experiencing such difficult life? And that really triggers me. How do they do so? So when I came back from this time, because I didn't watch my assets and then realized that I lost money, for me, I still have 50% left. So that was not an issue. I lost 1/3 again in 2008, by the way, but that didn't disturb me that much. The point is, I started to understand what is that quality of compassion. And they were talking about meditation. So, but I say, okay, what is meditation? And I then joined what is called Vipassana meditation. I started with a 10-day silent meditation. And there I learned, or I really experienced, that I have a body. And in this body, there's so many things happening that I had no clue because I was never listening to myself. And that's where it started, starting to take a moment of self-awareness. And the further I went, and of course I experienced even tougher things, like losing a young lady that came to my house. I was like a second father, and she will die electrically in my home when all the family was around. It was really tough experience, but for me, it was a gift. I explained that in the book, and I was not alone experiencing it as a gift because there was a priest there who could exchange that. But understanding that somebody comes to your place and will die accidentally and seeing it as a gift, because I see all the beauty that came afterward. But most of the people were only looking at the drama. So that mindset, and you question what makes you turn, what makes you shift this resilience when we are experiencing tough time, and suddenly something happens that you shift and see the beauty of things. And that quality, to come back, this is in everybody. The point is to connect to it. We need silence. The issue is that most of us, instead of putting silence, we put more turmoil, more work, more food, more drugs, more alcohol, more sex, more whatever you want. And so that's what we are learning. But when we lose ourselves in those distractions that creates that fog, life brings us to a point where it's not sustainable anymore. So we come to a choice at that moment. That's where we come at the moment where it turns. At that moment where life brings us in a situation where it says no more, we have the choice to say, okay, I listen, or if I don't listen, we continue the path down. And for some of us, it might go till death, sadly. But for the mass majority of us, no, we come to a moment where we say, hey, now I take care of who I am. And then that turning point happens. And of course, the more we do so, then the more the experiences are becoming more interesting. Like instead of bringing tough experiences, we start to having synchronicity, information from the universe. I start to experience out of the body experiences, starting to connect to something that is bigger than me. Satori experiences, as we say, or awakening experiences. I didn't choose for them. I didn't look for them, but I think the more we are interested to understand who we are, then the tough experiences are not needed anymore. Other kind of experience comes to us to make us evolve. And I hope I'm clear. But again, I use you as an example, because when we face a moment where we might die, we have a brain surgery. And some people who are experiencing this kind of surgery have a near-death experience. So the moment you touch this kind of experiences, you touch a beautiful experiences, but you cannot explain it. You have to experience it. Otherwise, nobody can understand it. And I'm sure you understand what I'm sharing. So not everybody needs to go to any other experience. You can do it also in other way, softer way. But I think everybody on our life, I believe that we are here to, again, evolve, to become better human, to become joyful, to become serene. That's what we are all trying to do. We start maybe thinking that money will bring the solution. Yes, it helps a lot, but that's not enough. We need to find other things. And when you talk about joy, what is more important than having a smile on your face? And even if it's tough time, it doesn't matter. You can choose to see the experience of life as an opportunity to learn something instead of becoming a victim of everything that is around us. But this is a learning. This is a path we are to learn in our life, in our physical life.
What is your view on free will?
I think, of course, free will means that as humans, we have the choice to decide. We have the capacity to decide. So, but what do we really decide? I think we decide only what is in our mind. I can decide to be as an animal dormant and experience life, as I said, as a victim, which means I don't like what life is offering me and I judge and close myself. But that choice is a choice of unawareness, unconsciousness, or not education, because we can be educated on that. But most schools don't educate on that. Spirituality will educate on that, but not the schools. So once we understand that we have the capacity to decide of what is happening, we can decide to see the beauty of life. So the free will, the capacity is only here. Now the rest of the experience, what we will have in our life, people we will meet, challenges that we will have, health, financial, relationship challenges, whatever they are there. But the difference is in the mindset. So either I learn that I have that capacity to choose and decide to see every challenges that life offers me as a gift. And of course, some of those gifts are not pleasant. But again, if they are not pleasant, it's an opportunity to learn something very important and become at peace, at ease with those unpleasant things. Now, as I told you, I'm a psychologist. So looking at psychology, the most unpleasant things are the things that are in ourselves, the trauma that we keep hidden in ourselves. So the most difficult things are different from everybody. Some might have a very tough life, but they are fully at peace. Others, they have a beautiful life. Everything is there, financially, relationship, health-wise, but they're not happy. And they are still with their shadows and their demons, because it's in themselves. So those are the most difficult ones. So to choose to go and discover who am I, what is blocking me to be that beautiful soul, that's the path, that's the choice.
Now that you've described your view on free will, how would you define, and do you see a difference between joy and happiness?
So I'm a positive psychologist. So to define happiness is not enough, because some of us, or I was like this, and many are like this, associate happiness with joy. But in fact, happiness is not only joy, it has to have meaning to it. So you have to have a life where you feel this joyful energy. For me, joy is just an emotion. An emotion is an energy. And that energy, positive energy, that vibration that I receive from joy, open myself and open me to the relationship, because when I'm joyful, I'm fully open to everything. And it creates an ease in my own life and an ease in the relationship with others, which is very important. But something needs to be added to it, I believe, which is meaning. I need to find the purpose of my life. I need to understand that I am here with a specific meaning. I am here given a lot of skills and gifts of what I can do through my education, but not only to my education, also through my skills, personal skills. So I have to serve life. And when I understand why am I here on earth, which touch that point of purpose or meaning, and then experiencing it fully with that joy that is simple, deep joy. When you look Dalai Lama or Desmond Tutu, both together, I don't know if you see those two, it's pure joy. And that inner child that we have all in us, that way to see life as a beautiful game. This is for me what I understand in the word joy. But to make it sustainable, I believe we need both. They're connected, happiness and joy. If we say happiness is joy plus meaning, and then it's a feeling where we have the sense to be at ease, relax, accepting everything and being joyful, but at the same time understanding that we serve something bigger than us and that we are just used by life, used by the universal energy to serve life. As a tree is growing up and making its fruits and continuing to do this, we are the same. So the moment I can let go, detached and flow with what life wants me to do, I am fully joyful. I'm clear, and I hope I'm aligned with what you're experiencing, because you're the specialist of joy.
It's interesting you spoke about the Dalai Lama, and one of the quotes I was reading from him some time ago, he was saying that every morning when he wakes up, he finds joy just in the opportunity to be alive. And he has a saying that I will not waste this opportunity that has been given to me today. And if you start your day with that mindset, I believe it's just so powerful. No matter what comes your way, you're able to basically experience joy, to find a positive in any negative circumstance. So thank you so much for sharing. It's absolutely beautiful. You also spoke before about purpose and how important it is. Some people struggle to find their purpose. I'd love to hear your story on how you found your purpose in your lifetime. And hopefully this will inspire others to find a path, to find their own purpose and find a way that they can possibly contribute every single day to so many causes and so many challenges, right, that we have in this world.
I think the purpose, our purpose, is already in us very early on. And it's created probably either before we are born or soon after, in the first relationship we have with people around us, the first connections we have with life. And it can be, let's say, in the first years. But then we come to relationship, schools, family, and so on, and we tend to forget that. And we tend to follow rules, belief systems that are given to us. And with that, it gets complex, complicated to reconnect to the real purpose. And the purpose can be so broad that it can be put in every situation. I will give you an example because I find mine. But then to be concrete, very specific, it's a little bit tougher. So let me first of all explain how I connected to my purpose. And it was, yes, after I sold my companies, after I played the game that the system wanted me to play and got out of it and found that I was nowhere. So I had to rethink, because I had to rethink out of myself, not out of the system. So I met people, friends, and I did several exercises. One of them was, who are you? And during I don't know, 5 hours, people came to me and asked me, who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Thank you. Who are you? And of course, with time, I came to an answer, but not just in words, but in my cells. I was becoming very aware that I used the word, I was stardust, dust, nothing, but out of stars. So I was also a star. But it's not just words. He has to really come into something that it's integrated in every sense. The second question that came was, why are you here? And again, this time it came out that I was here to recognize the light in every being I encounter. But when I say the light, for me it's clear, it's that beauty of spiritual, universal, God, whatever the name you want to put, that is in every of us. So I understood that I am here. And when I do that, when I connect, recognize, at the same time, I recognize my own divinity and my tears are starting to fall. So I know in that moment, I am in a space that is what I call truthful. We're talking about truth, the real truth. So now this is the big word. Okay, I'm here to recognize the light in every being I am. Now, to make it more concrete in the business world, it became, I'm here to elevate, support, and I say CEOs, because that's the people I know how to talk to, elevate, recognize their consciousness. Again, consciousness is such a big word, so we need to define more clearer. So by time to time, when we are now in our own life, how do we come to the purpose that is currently feasible, concrete, feasible? And I believe that's through a good discussions like we have now, trying to help, and I do this many times, I try to help to somebody to find out with his skill set now, with the environment he is in or she is in now, what is her purpose or what is his purpose? And it has to do with a kind of question linked to his value systems. Once we understand the value systems, once we understand the surrounding, suddenly we come to, hey, you have a purpose that is so big and always linked to something to bring joy, serenity, peace, wealth, growth, but not only material wealth, of course, also material wealth. That has to do with this. But then depending on the capacity of the specific individual in that specific moment, it might be different. So that comes to become a kind of a goal, might be a MTP, massive transformative purpose, but that is a kind of a 10-year goal that can slowly become clearer. Okay, in 10 years, that's what I want. And it becomes to a purpose that is more manageable in the sense we can observe, we can put goals, concrete goals behind it, and we can see the evolution of it. But to come back, I have young children. They are 25 and they question. And when I say, what do you want to do? And they say, I don't know. It's not easy to find their purpose. And what I observe is purpose comes to you and it comes in those difficult moments. That's when life eats ourselves, make us rethink, and in that reset moment, in that chaos that we are experiencing, that's where we have the chance to connect to our purpose.
Beautiful. And you mentioned how you're working with executives and your book, that is absolutely incredible. Tell us about the profound desire that you had. And I know in the book you've mentioned that it was really a culmination of more than 20 years of lessons and accumulation of wisdom. What was your intention when you wrote this book?
I think we are, as human, facing a big challenge. The challenge is, will human continue on this earth? In the sense, are we serving life? If we are not serving life, life will put us away from this planet. So we need to be very conscious of that. So But as a human, unconscious, we are behaving like animals. And what we do is just survive, trying to do the best we can to survive. And this is what is driven by our ego, which is important, help us to survive. But with the ego, self-centered ego, we destroy everything that is around us. Yes, I might be very powerful in my business and be the best around all others, because what? My aim is to be the strongest, be the best, and take advantage of everything that is around me. But with that, we are destroying a lot of things, too much. So we need to evolve. So the next stage of egocentrism, the next stage is ethnocentric. This we are fully in also. Ethno means, yes, me, my group, me, my family, me, my company. We do everything we can to survive against the others groups. But that, again, is destroying what is given for free on this planet. And just to make a small joke apart, we say, hey guys, we're going to the moon or to Mars, but we are living in a paradise and we want to live in a desert. That's how crazy we become. Now, from egocentric to ethnocentric, we need to go further and connect to something that is broader. That's why we are talking about sustainability, diversity, and inclusion. All those things are coming because deep down in us, we feel that something is not right, but we need to implement that really. So becoming what is called human-centric, in the sense that we understand that it's not because I am a man, a black or white or whatever, I am different. We are all humans. And as human, we need to understand and help each other. This is just another level of consciousness, but it's not enough. We need to continue and become world conscious. And world conscious means, what am I made of? Cells. When I look in those cells, what am I made of? Just vibrations. But the same vibrations and the same atoms, you can find them in any animals, in any plants, in any minerals. So we are similar than all those things. The moment I can connect to this, I become world conscious. I become conscious that I am also part of this nature. And I have to respect really this nature. But this cannot be just talked, bring in the head. It has to be felt in the heart, in every cells. And that's what I'm trying to help us you. And if we continue to go further, because that's where we need to live with every animals, every plants on this planet, to continue to protect and serve the paradise we receive. But if we continue and get conscious that we are not the only star on this universe, there are so many galaxies and so many stars, and we are also influenced by them. So the moment I can open up to this, I again continue to become a little bit more conscious. And then the more I get conscious, the more the current small challenges are just momentary small challenges. And we're conscious, but we can slowly feel the big trends. And as CEO is supposed to be one that can anticipate the future, envision what can be done. So that's why a CEO in a turmoil than in which we are now, because we are talking about VUCA or VUCA's world where uncertainty, vulnerability, everything is here. And we see the challenge that we are facing. It's very difficult to plan, but the CEO has to take decisions and has to take decisions that will impact the company and the people around them in the next future, in the next years. So how do I do the right decisions? How do I make the best decisions? Not only for my shareholders, not only for my people, not only for my tribe or company, I have to make it good for really the world, for really the mankind, for really maybe the universe. And that's where, when it's turmoil, and I need SEO to take the right decisions, I need to find that space. And I was talking about finding silence, finding calmness, finding serenity, being aligned to my purpose, my value system. That's where I need to really connect to them. And then they become a kind of map and compass that I can use when it's turmoil, when I don't see anything because everything is falling apart. But as CEO, as the leader, I need to be clear where we are going and not be disturbed by those momentary challenges. That's what I'm trying to do.
And in your book, there's many examples of absolutely wonderful people that have crossed your path. And you have mentioned the importance of reflecting on those deep personal experiences you have. And often those experiences can also include meeting incredible human beings that allow us to engage in a conversation or have a reflection that is so deep and profound. From all the stories that you have shared in your book, what was the most profound one that has also had a huge influence on how you look at your life, how you look at finding joy?
I think there are many, but in my mind comes the one is that death, that young lady, 29 years, will die just where I live, and the night before I had a beautiful discussion with her, and all the things that happen afterward. So having that connection to death very close is very, very powerful and transformative. The second one is I had the chance, I wanted to meditate in a certain place in India. Maybe you know Sadhguru, he has a temple. And I had the chance to go to India, fast for a week. I was really clean physically, and then go there. And I will experience something where, I don't know, I connected to nothing, but that nothing was so beautiful, so calm, so serene, so at peace, that when I came down back to my body, I came down with connection, a link, a kind of line that connected me, golden line that connected me to that space. So with that experience, I'm conscious that we are just playing games. We are really a spiritual body or a spiritual consciousness that is in this body. And we are here like in a theater. And everything that is happening in life, we're just playing games. So when I see life, even a difficult game or a difficult situation, for me, it's fun, becomes fun, and it becomes joyful. And it's always an opportunity, like a kid, to see the beauty of life in everything and to bring my light, because that's what's beautiful then. Then my purpose become even more, not only conscious, but impactful, because I see the impact in life that I meet at every situation I meet. There are so many synchronicity that I'm so conscious. To give you a concrete example that happened yesterday, I go to see my accountant, and suddenly she started to talk, and I am overwhelmed and so on. Then I say, yes, but I think it's time now to partner with somebody and have less. Yes, I'm talking since several years with somebody. And so at that moment, that somebody calls. She goes to the phone and says, that's that person. And I say, you see, it's not tomorrow. It's now. You take the decision now. And it's now that you have to do it. So this kind of experience, I have daily things like that. But I have not the chance, but I see the game. So for me, it's a game. So when that happens, as an example, I perceive myself as being in that moment, in that situation, just to say this, help that person to make that decision. That's it. And I just say, thank you. I play my game and I'm joyful. The joy comes by easy, you see. But it can also happen something tough for me. The same thing. And they are not happening that much anymore. It's rather positive experiences, but it always happens.
What are some projects that you look forward to pursuing in the near future to achieve your purpose, to bring more light to this world and more joy to this world? Can you share with us any of those exciting initiatives that you foresee?
I live in Mauritius. I'm very happy in Mauritius, the life I have. See, in the introduction of the book, I was supported by a person that I consider the most awakened being that I met. Okay, so he supported me to say, hey, you have to go a little bit outside Mauritius and share your understanding. That's why I wrote a book, and that's why now I'm talking. But to be honest, I don't know. I'm a little bit afraid of the next steps, because it's bringing me to travel the world again. In 2 weeks, I have to go to Warsaw, to Warsaw, to Poland,
yeah.
to talk in front of 160, 200 people, CEOs, only CEOs. So I'm surprised what life brings to me. So, but honestly, I'm in the flow. I let things happen to me. So I know that I have now to talk, and I will tell you why CEO, because I think one CEO can impact many thousands. So touching the CEO and his team, I can impact 100,000 people. And I don't have much time and not much people I can meet personally. So that's why I say, okay, I have to talk with those people that I know the language. And life brought me to that path, so I can share my understanding to these kind of people. And I will continue until, I'm not so old, but and I'm in good health. So I will continue as much as I can, because I receive so much by doing so. So the joy that you see, we are looking for. And I told you, when I connect and I see that light in the eyes of the people, when I'm in that moment, I am so in the bliss state that, yeah, that's what I would like to continue the rest of my life, to be in that bliss state. So to be in that bliss state, I have to continue to meet people as we are doing now, sharing, exchanging, learning from each other, and touching the heart, the soul of everybody. I don't know how concretely this will happen, probably meeting and continuing to impact CEOs as I do, but we'll see.
Any final words of wisdom or insights you would like to share with our audience about finding and experiencing and sharing joy in their lives?
You know, starting every morning, looking yourself in a mirror, really looking in the eyes and smiling, laughing at who we are, the games we are playing every day, the sorrow, the pain, or whatever it is that comes to us, and understanding that when we look really in the eyes, we see we are playing games, we are clowns. So connecting to that clown every morning and makes life much easier.
Marc-Antoine, this has been an immense pleasure. Thank you so much for sharing your journey and your perspectives on joy. It's been an absolute delight. And I wish you continued success with all the initiatives you're pursuing, and lots of success also with the influence you aspire to have on as many CEOs as possible in this world.
Thank you, Andrea. It was really a pleasure, and I hope I didn't talk too much.